Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am a woman and I have come here with my own confession. I really do not know why is it my father did all those things that he did to me, and what hurts me is that all of my father's relatives, everyone that I told about the abuse that was taking place, they just chose to ignore me. And my grandmother, who gave birth to my father, when I went to her to tell her that this was what my father had done to me, she then said that I was just a little prostitute, just like my mother, and I was trying by all means to make sure that my father was going to rot in prison, and it was not going to happen. And when I told my mother as well, she told me that I was a prostitute who had been sleeping around, and I was lying because I did not know who had infected me with an STI. So this made me to be very confused as to why all of the people whom I trusted, including my father, who had betrayed my trust, my father's relatives, my mother's relatives, all of them, they did not want to hear anything about it. Maybe it is because my father, he was the richest man in the family. From my mother's side, even to my father's side, he was the richest man in the whole family. That is why he will do whatever that he wanted with me, knowing that there was no one who was going to assist me. So this is how my father ended up sleeping with me by force. When I was still young, my parents, they fought and they got separated. After the separation, that was when my mother went and she started staying with another man. I then went and I started staying with my mom and my stepfather. So my mother was hated by her in-laws. I really do not know why. My mother and her husband, they were staying in Harare, and then they said that I was supposed to go and stay in the village. They went with me to the village and they left me there, but I was staying with my stepfather's relatives. And when I saw that they did not like me at all, the way that they were mistreating me, like, it was really painful. And then that was when, Brother Nashi, I spoke with my father. My father left me when I was 12, and then when I contacted him, because of the pain and the suffering that I was going through, I was at the age of 16, and I told him everything that was going on. That was when he said that he wanted me to come and stay with him, with his new wife. I then left the village and I started staying with my father and my stepmom, even though my mother was staying in Harare, but she never wanted to visit me or to hear anything about me. It was as if in her world I no longer existed at all. So I kept on living my life, but the problem was that when I started staying with my father, that was when he would come into my bedroom late at night, and then he will start to touch me in an improper way. And whenever I would tell my stepmother about what my father was doing, when she would complain, my father will get so mad at her. So my stepmom, it was like she knew a lot of stuff about what my father was doing, where his wealth came from. So one day when I told my stepmom what was really going on, that was when she confronted my father, and it was as if it was a big mistake, the biggest mistake of her life, because from there on, that was when she started to lose her mind. Sometimes we would wake up and she would be waiting for us holding a knife. She was very violent. Sometimes she would scream at my father until one day when she walked away. We really do not know where she went to. So others, they say that she has since passed away, but there are others that say that she is still mentally ill and she is somewhere. And that is what happened to my stepmom. So when my stepmom walked away, she left me with her kids, who are my little siblings, and then I became their mother, like their father, because my father is a big businessman. He was never at home. He was always busy going to different countries to attend to his many businesses. So my father now had the opportunity to do whatever that he wanted to do with me. As for my father, he would come and he would sleep with me. I had too many miscarriages, and then I fell pregnant again. I just thought that maybe it was going to be easy for me to remove the pregnancy like I had done countless times. That was when I felt to remove that pregnancy and I gave birth. But before all of these things were happening, I had gone to my mom, like after my father had slept with me. And my father, by the way, he was a man who loved prostitutes. With the money that he had, he could afford as many women as he wanted. So wherever he was, he had a different woman. So I think one of the women gave him an STI. So then my father, when he came home one day with his STI, he slept with me. So then it started to get so itchy and painful down there. I then went and I told my mom, and I told my mom that this was what was happening to me. My dad had slept with me by force and he kept on doing this. My mom was not even surprised about this. And she said, let me see. You are saying that you have an STI. Let us go to the bathroom. So I went with my mom to the bathroom. And then that was when I took a soft cloth and I wiped myself down there. And I showed it to her, all the yellowish, thick discharge that ended up coming with blood. And then she started screaming at me and she said that I was trying to frame my father and it was never going to happen. I was just a dirty prostitute who had been sleeping around. So I then went and I spoke with one of my uncle's wife who understood my situation. She was the only one in the family who understood my situation, and she was like, so it means that you girls, you are not safe there with your father, because my siblings as well, they were girls. And she said, I want you to come and stay with me here in the village until we make a decision. So I made a mistake the day when I was supposed to leave Harare. Like, we did not have money. What I used to do whenever my father will give me money to go and buy bread, I would not buy that bread. I would put the money aside and I would tell my siblings that we were going to eat maybe rice for breakfast with tea, and then I would keep that money. So I had a little bit of money, but it was not going to be enough to travel from Harare going to the villages. So then that was when I spoke with my uncle and I told him that I was on my way with my sibling, just in case if we could get stuck along the way. I wanted him to assist us because we were coming to stay with him. He shouted at me over the phone and he said that he did not want to see me at all. But this uncle of mine, even though he said that he did not want to associate himself with me because of my father, he was my father's best friend. He was given a lot of money to start his business, and my father was helping him to run that business. But yet he told me that he was not in good books with my father. So I did not go there. And then there were these other two women. They were police officers. They came as if they were investigating something. They pretended as if they cared for me. The next time around when they came, they went with my father into his study room, which was his office at home, and they stayed there for a very long time. They were given money, and then those two police officers, they threatened me really bad, and they said that it was a criminal offense to go around telling people that your father has done that to you. So I stopped talking about it because I was so scared. I had never been so scared like that in my entire life. And there is this friend of mine whom I had told, I think she went to the police station to report my father because of what he had been doing to me. To this very day, Brother Nashi, I am someone that is heartbroken because of the things that happened to me. When that whole scenario happened with the police, my father then made me to go mad. This is what happened the day that I started losing my mind. Like, I was busy just watching TV. There was this other movie, a Nigerian movie by Eve Esin, that I was watching. So it was like 5 hours long and I just wanted to finish up that movie. So I was in the living room alone as I was watching the TV. It was somewhere around 2 a.m. That was when the TV switched itself off. So I said, oh, the electricity is gone, but the light was on, everything was on. So when I got up, because I wanted to check if the plug was okay, that was when I saw that the kitchen door, it was open. I walked towards the kitchen, Brother Nanshi. That was when I saw that there was a woman. This woman was standing by the door and she was looking at me. And then that was when the floor, the tiles, they opened up and this woman fell into the floor. And then she appeared right behind me. When I turned around, when I saw this woman, she was scary as hell. When I looked at her, it was as if there was someone that had poured oil, like that black motor oil, all over her body, and I screamed. That is the last thing that I remember. So I was now running mad. Like, I would be having these hallucinations and visions, yet I was running mad. So in my mind, when I would start walking, I'll say that I want to return back home, but I really do not know how to return back home. So I would be walking, thinking that I am walking in the direction where home was, but I will be walking sometimes even out of Harare. That was when I was picked up and I was returned back to my father's house. So my father kept me locked in this other spare bedroom. My father used to cook for me. Whenever I would refuse the food, my father will put the plate on the floor and he would kick the food and he will say that when you are hungry, you are going to eat. And indeed, I would feel so hungry, so much that I would get on my knees. Then I'll start to pick up the food using my own mouth as I'll be picking up the food. And then there was this other time when I was taken by my grandmother, the same woman who had told me that I was just a dirty little prostitute, who was lying that my father had been sleeping with me just like my mother was also a little prostitute. I think she felt sorry for me because of what my father was doing to me, and then she took me to this other traditional healer. So when I came back to my senses, I woke up because this traditional healer, he was busy pouring water onto my face as well as rubbing that powdered tobacco underneath my feet. So I woke up and I said, what are you doing to me? And then that traditional healer said, she's fine, she is back, now she is okay. I then said, what do you mean when you say that I am fine, I am okay? What happened to me? I am trying to get home. Where is home? Then my grandmother, she started to shout at me like she always did, and she was angry, and she was like, why are you asking too many questions as if you are the one who paid the consultation fee? Just shut up. And then that traditional healer assisted me, and after that, that was when I returned back and I stayed with my grandmother. Because of the way that she used to treat me, I ended up returning back to Harare. Life was very difficult still, but now I was just back because I wanted to take care of my siblings. And then that was when my father started to get sick. When he was really sick in the hospital, there was one of my father's younger brother who came home. He called me and he asked me if I was home, and I said yes. So at our house, there was this other big septic tank, and my uncle, he came with a truck, those ones that suck up the sewage. And after they had done that, my uncle came back again with some other men. Then they started to dig up and to remove the concrete slab that was on top of that septic tank. And then my father passed away. But when they were busy removing that concrete slab that was on top of the septic tank, when I looked, I saw that there was a skull. It looked like a human skull that was inside of the septic tank. But I don't know if it was a human skull or a baboon's skull. Then when my father passed away, my uncle then gave an instruction to everyone to go and wait in the village. So everyone was waiting in the village for my father's corpse to be taken to the village. He was still in the mortuary at that time. My uncle then brought my father's dead body from the mortuary. It was in the coffin. You know what they did, Brother Nashi? He was helped by those men from the funeral parlor. They then put my father's dead body inside that septic tank for a couple of minutes, and then they brought it up again. And then that was when my uncle said, we have to travel now to the village. That is what happened. After that, I tried to get married. There was this other guy that I spoke with. This guy, I told him everything that happened to me, the same story that I have told you. The day when he was mad at me, he said that I'm such a prostitute who slept with her own father until I fell pregnant, and he destroyed me totally. I was already heartbroken about what had happened to me, but he made the heartbreak to be even worse. To this very day, it is so painful. Even if I am dating a man, the moment that the guy is sleeping with me, when I look at him, I will see my father, what my father used to do to me and traumatize me. This is my own story. When you post, tell me. I'll be following through in the comment section. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister right there. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Let us try to talk about this issue in the comment section.